What's up, everyone? Welcome to the June 24th edition of FanDuel Tournament Plays presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, use the code AWESEMO when you sign up and make a deposit at PrizePicks. You'll receive one free month of Stokastic plus Platinum. You'll also receive a 100% first deposit bonus up to $100 on your first deposit. We have a 14-game MLB slate tonight. As usual, we're going to take a look at three of the top tournament stacks and three of the top tournament pitchers using the top stacks tool and the top pitchers tool on the Stokastic.com website. Starting with the top three tournament stacks, number 3, the St. Louis Cardinals are taking on Kyle Hendricks. Hendricks is not a particularly good pitcher. He's only struck out 16.8% of hitters this year. He has a 4.68 xFIP. The Cardinals' active roster has the second best WRC plus in baseball at 120. They have a 163 ISO on their active roster as well. They are projected for only 3% ownership, with a 5% chance of being the top scoring stack and a 2% chance of being the top value stack. Number 2, Tampa Bay Rays are taking on Mitch Keller tonight in Tampa Bay. Difficult park for hitting. Also a watered-down Tampa Bay lineup with Ron DeFranco not quite back yet. Manny Margot on the 60-day injured list. Kevin Kiermaier is out. Their active roster only has a 96 WRC plus and a 138 ISO. But Keller has only struck out 18.6% of hitters this year. He also has a 4.49 xFIP. Tampa Bay is projected for 3% ownership with a 3% chance of being the top scoring stack and a 7% chance of being the top value stack. And number 1, the Oakland Athletics are an awful offense, but they're projected for 3% ownership with a 4% chance of being the top scoring stack and a 15% chance of being the top value stack. They have a very good matchup tonight against Zach Greinke in Kansas City. Greinke is returning from the injured list, but he has struggled so far this year with an 11.2% strikeout percentage, 4.89 xFIP. The A's only have an 81 WRC plus and 121 ISO on their active roster, so it's a very bad pitcher against a very bad offense, but the A's are very cheap and not pulling much ownership. Now, looking at the top 3 tournament pitchers, number 3, German Marquez taking on the Minnesota Twins in Minnesota. This is a difficult matchup as the Twins' active roster has a 115 WRC plus, but they also have a 22.1% strikeout percentage. Marquez gets out of Coors Field as well, where not surprisingly, he's a better pitcher. Overall this season, a 20.1% strikeout percentage and 3.81 xFIP for Marquez. He's only projected for 1% ownership with a 5% chance of being the top scoring pitcher and an 8% chance of being the top value pitcher at $7,400. Number 2, Alek Manoah is taking on the Milwaukee Brewers in Milwaukee. Manoah projected for 3% ownership with a 5% chance of being the top scoring pitcher and a 1% chance of being the top value pitcher. He's $10,400. The Brewers' active roster has a 102 WRC plus, but also has a 24% strikeout percentage. Manoah this year has struck out about 23% of hitters with a 3.75 xFIP. And number 1, Justin Verlander is taking on the New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium. Very, very difficult matchup for Verlander, but as a result, he's only pulling 5% ownership with a 6% chance of being the top scoring pitcher. Verlander has struck out 25.5% of hitters this year with a 3.41 xFIP. The Yankees' active roster leads the league with a 121 WRC plus, but they've also struck out 21.7% of the time. There are some strikeouts for Verlander in this lineup. So to recap, the top 3 tournament stacks: number 3, the St. Louis Cardinals; number 2, the Tampa Bay Rays; number 1, the Oakland Athletics. And the top 3 tournament pitchers: number 3, German Marquez; number 2, Alek Manoah; and number 1, Justin Verlander.